At 5:30, we are inside the Gaston County courtroom for day 5 of the Crossbow Killing Trial. Now, the cast of characters on the witness stand just continues to grow. Today, the star witness, though, for the prosecution, Melinda Robinson, taking the stand, recalling the moments when she says she thought her life was over.
So when he came pointing that crossbow,
that was meant for me.
All right, let's bring in our chief legal correspondent, Seema Iyer, who is live outside of the Gaston courthouse.
Yeah, and Seema, you know, to see her sitting there saying that that was meant for me, and we saw a bit of her during that direct examination by the prosecutor, but as your expert opinion in the courtroom, for being in courtrooms a lot, how did she handle the whole cross-examination?
Oh, it was very different. Now, let me take you back inside the courtroom for the direct examination. She was very calm. She was very composed. Her volume of her voice stayed at an even keel. She answered the questions appropriately. There were times where she mumbled. It was hard to discern what she was saying, but she's definitely a different woman than she was back on May 4th, 2019. She told the jury that she's been clean since May 11th of that year and that she works at UPS and she's reconciled with her family. But then she took the stand for cross-examination and things took a dramatic and sudden change. Take a look.
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say that. Was I physically abusive? No. I defended myself, if that's what you're asking me. Physically and mentally, absolutely. Do you think I'm going to scream out from when he's threatening my life and I know I was the intended target? He didn't mean to kill Joyce. He intended to kill me, not her. He accidentally killed her.
So, guys, you can see from that it was very volatile inside the courtroom. But what you didn't see was it got a lot louder just until we came outside for to be on with you. I just cannot say enough. She was screaming and yelling at the defense attorney. It would not stop. It was so loud in there. And I want to explain to our viewers that as a lawyer, both prosecutors and defense attorneys, we have a duty to rehearse with our witnesses and tell our witnesses how you are with me is how you should be with the opposing side. And today there were two different Melinda Robinsons. The jury, they were totally engaged. They were doing the tennis match thing where they go back and forth and back and forth. But I just don't know if this is good for the prosecution to have her flipping out the way she was, guys.
Which is what I wanted to ask you, Seema. I mean, her testimony right there, just chilling. I mean, the hair on my arms just stood up when I heard her say that. But by questioning Robinson that she could have gotten away from Rick, could that actually turn off a jury? Because you're essentially attacking the victim or the intended victim in this case.
Well, the defense attorney, Mr. Hoyle, he does it in such a gentlemanly manner. He never raises his voice. He was very easy with her. And the bottom line is he has to do his job, right? So number one, the good thing about Melinda Robinson is she was consistent saying, I did not know that Rick was going to dump the car with Joyce's body in it. Because the first line of questioning is, why did you drive his truck away from the scene? Why did you follow him? Because she said, I didn't know where he was going. They were all obviously under the influence of drugs. But the question is, if she was so scared of him, why did she continue to follow him? Why did she continue to follow him from the lake? And then they went from location to location to location. There were several locations before they went down south to Myrtle Beach. And even in Myrtle Beach, guys, there were at least 1, 2, 3, 4 locations, including a hotel. So in this day and age, why didn't she call 911? Why didn't she go to the hotel reception? And furthermore, there has been testimony that's been brought out that at times, Melinda was not with Michael Rick. Michael Rick was outside the home. Michael Rick was in a different location. She was alone. Why did she continue to stay with him? And what was disturbing is when the police finally captured them, she said, oh, I felt like I was saved. I felt like I was saved. Saved from what? You've been with this guy for so long, guys.
Yeah, and it certainly sounds like there's going to be a lot to try to digest here for the jury. But is this case even close to wrapping up next week? And do you think the defendant will even get on the stand and testify?
Okay, so number one, Melinda Robinson is not done. She resumes cross-examination at 9:30 on Monday morning. Number two is that because the defense is claiming accident, I think legally to lay that foundation, he has to testify. And finally, number three, I do believe, and this is just sources telling me from inside the courtroom, that the defense will have more than one witness. So the prosecution has yet to rest. They may rest by the end of Monday. The defense has to or should probably be putting on a case. So we are not nearly at the finish line. And then, of course, let's not forget, there's always the chance for a rebuttal case, because if the defense brings out new evidence that the prosecution could not legally bring out in their case in chief, then the prosecution has the right to bring in rebuttal evidence. And of course, that is also subject to a judge's ruling. So yes, I know there's a lot to digest. And by the way, coming up at 6:30, we're going to give you the full gamut of Melinda Robinson on both direct and cross, guys.
Seema, thanks for putting the context behind this, because you at some point had to come down from your high if you're saying that you're on drugs. So all that time after the murder took place, it really put some perspective in this case. Seema Iyer, thank you so much.